So this David situation is continuing by the day. We're getting all of these crazy updates, a lot of it coming from Reddit, a lot of it coming from the mainstream media. But as I covered in my last video, it seems like the cover-up has begun. There's apparently been efforts to take information down from the original Discord server where a lot of these very suspect chats were going on between that actual girl that lost her life, Celeste, when she was underage, as well as David, as well as several other moderators apparently helping run this Discord. Everybody's getting implicated. A lot of people apparently are trying to clean up, delete posts, delete parts of the Discord, as well as the Reddit, the main David subreddit. People have discovered that David is actually the main and the only moderator on that Reddit, and there's been accusations that he's been locking posts and trying to cover things up. But I'm delighted to tell you guys that the cover-up is seemingly not working. The cover-up is failing miserably. People have caught wind of exactly what's going on, and people are not feeling it. People are calling out the cover-ups that are going on. People are just all over it, and it is going absolutely miserably for David. So I've got a whole bunch of links to show you, to share with you, to help you break down exactly what's going on with this alleged cover-up and how it is ultimately falling flat, probably much to the delight of prosecutors. So this has been going around today, and this is in r/music, a very big subreddit with 3.2 million weekly visitors. Okay, the music subreddit is serious, all right? And this is an article that was posted externally. It says singer David is apparently the sole moderator of his own subreddit and is deleting posts critical of him amidst the LAPD investigation into a teen's death. Okay, people saying they're learning about this dude against their will. They don't want to learn about it. But they're being subjected. They're saying this guy must be guilty. How is he free after they found a dismembered teen in his car? All right, people. I don't condone this comment. This is satire. This is satire, clearly. But it's saying, I can excuse being a PDF and a murderer, but I draw the line at being a Reddit moderator. I've now decided that this guy sucks. Okay, so let's take a look at the full article. This is on a TV Fandom Lounge, but I've seen other places, other more mainstream news outlets posting this, okay? And it said, David is apparently the sole moderator of his own subreddit and is deleting posts critical of him amid the LAPD's investigation, okay? It's basically breaking down that in the middle of these developments, fans noticed unusual activity on David's official Reddit subreddit, where quite a few posts that raised concerns about the case and his lyrics were removed. Since Burke is listed as the only moderator, users are accusing him of attempting to silence discussion and control the narrative surrounding the investigation. So these are a couple of posts, and we're going to look closer at a number of posts on Reddit where people are noticing what's going on. It says the mod who warned about the sub has been suspended and is no longer a mod. Everyone's noticed increased trolling and informative posts being deleted. The only mod active now is David's own account. People saying my post was deleted by mods too. People have been going crazy that post got deleted. My post got deleted yesterday too. A few hours after I posted it due to slurs. The only slur is the one you see in the screenshot, and it was auto-deleted. Wouldn't it be deleted immediately? What up, guys? I finally found Reddit. All right, this is David's official Reddit account, D4VD Reddit. All right, I've looked at the account. There weren't many posts when I looked at it, but I don't know if posts have been deleted. People are saying there were only 2 mods, Failing for Me and David. Does anyone else think it's odd that Failing for Me stated he doesn't have anything to do with David and doesn't talk to him, but yet him and David joined this server on the same date and are both mods and no one else? Or am I just deep in it too much? I don't think you're deep in it too much. I think you're deep in it an appropriate amount. Who knows? Listen, I've got multiple Reddit accounts, so no reason why David couldn't. They're saying David's bitch ass is currently the only mod. Time to move on, folks. David's the only mod on this sub. As a mod got banned and another left, that lives David's PDF bitch ass, the only mod of this sub. All right. So this was the main David subreddit reposting this same article. All right. This was when it got reposted in pop culture chat, but it's the same thing. All right. Singer David's the sole moderator on subreddit, but this isn't the David. This was 7 hours ago. So the last post on the subreddit was 6 hours ago, and it appears to have been duly locked, and we're going to get to that in a moment, okay? But this is basically people saying, mod this, David, middle finger, all right? Plus all the mod announcements are him. We saw it, lol. People saying, I'd be tight with my accounts too if I was a murderer. I had a feeling the amount of posts in defense to him are so suspicious, all right? So people were claiming that David was personally locking posts on the subreddit. So this was going around saying, I just had a quick Google to see who can lock pages and if Reddit themselves do it. And the answer is no. So if David's the only moderator on that main subreddit, it was 100% David himself who locked it. People saying, can we just start throwing hammers at bro? People saying it's not showing any moderators my end. Does that happen when it's locked? People saying no mods left. the sub may shut down soon. All right? Look, if that's how it works and no moderators being left, if all the moderators resign, it means the subreddit gets shut down. Maybe that's exactly what David's looking for, man. So people made posts on the sub knowing that David was reading it, right? I even said in one of my last videos, all right, David, if you're watching this, you're cooked, all right? And you're probably watching this one too, man. You're doubly cooked. You're overcooked. You're charbroiled at this point, okay? And everybody's realizing that, and there's been several posts in the subreddit before it got locked down basically just coming at David directly, saying, I know you're lurking in here, Chomo. Why don't you go F yourself? All right, and it's got hella upvotes. People saying effing troglodyte locked the sub. What a little man. We're all moving to David too since he locked this one. And there's 3 subreddits now that are all dueling for dominance over this story, okay? He's upset that his impressionable and teenage and adolescence audience have seen him for who he truly is and turned on him and want nothing to do with him, so the zesty PDF took his ball and ran off. Yeah, he locked the sub. What the F? Ironic that he got a thrill from violating helpless little girls, and now his tiny ass is about to become the wifey of a gigantic, disease-riddled man for the rest of his life. It's going to be tough for him in the county, man. You're going to have to roll it up and go PC by the sounds of things, okay? Why can't we post? We should just take over a post and chit-chat in the comments. This post is very fitting. This is such a funny last post for this sub, all right? But it's not just David. People are saying that all of the mods that have been connected to the sub are weirdos, okay? And all the moderators in the Discord too, they're just saying they're a whole bunch of weirdos, basically. They've all come together, David, Carp, and Moji, for their shared love of apparently liking minors, okay? It is actually twisted, okay? People saying, please add Safia, the mandatory enabler in these situations. I'm going to do a whole video on this Safia chick, all right? I got hella links. I'm going to keep those separate. But that Safia chick is definitely in some trouble, okay? So people in the new David sub, so they started a David 2 subreddit. All right, this is r/David2. You know, this is raw, unfiltered, no Davids allowed. This is the no David club. All right, no David, no Davids, not even one. All right, David 2. That's what we got. So people are saying regarding his actions on the old subreddit, he can change it, he can delete it, he can try and get rid of it. But in this day and age where technology is advanced as it is, there is a way to recover it all of it. I have a daughter close in age to Celeste. This hits me so effing hard because as a parent, I could not imagine not looking for my baby, trying my hardest to keep her away from scum like this that preys on the young. While I don't agree with how her family treated her multiple runaway attempts, they were not the ones that murdered and mutilated her. I hope he's not sleeping. I hope he isn't eating. I hope he doesn't have a second of peace. I hope he's cowering in fear, hiding away and afraid of law enforcement coming and arresting him. I hope he spends the rest of his life every day in fear. Saying he has messed with the swarm intelligence on the internet. Many here are internet professionals. Facts. The people here are his opponent. This is not Fortnite stuff. This is real life, and we're going to chase him until he sings songs in the men's shower. People saying, you guys are the unsung heroes in this horrid situation, doing work by archiving evidence, spending hours sorting through various social media profiles, making comparisons, all doing this with your own free time and not being paid to do any of it. Just doing all of it because of the kindness of your hearts. I thank you so much. Now, I appreciate that comment because we spoke in one of my previous videos about essentially some people saying, oh, isn't it wrong to follow along this story and trying to piece the things together? Can't you just leave it to the police? But as we're seeing, people involved in this are trying to purge information. They're trying to cover up, even though they're dumb as hell because they're not realizing the feds can subpoena all of these platforms. People are making these connections in a way that realistically it's probably going to help the police. All right, you're going to call me the feds for all the gangster rap stuff when people are like, oh, Traplo Ross, he's the feds because he reads indictments of people that already got arrested and talks about what happened and compares it to lyrics. Look, okay, at the end of the day, child murder, we're not going for it. Not cool, don't care, you call me the feds, want to see whoever did this locked up, is what it is, okay? And shout out to all of the people, the open source intelligence community that are actually putting together all of the facts, piecing all this together. The police are probably finding it helpful, to be completely honest with you. This is different from a case where Lil Durk's been arrested and I've read the indictment, I've gone back and listened to the lyrics and connected it after the fact. This is different. But at the end of the day, I think people are doing positive things by documenting and archiving this because the people involved, as we've already seen, they would love to cover this up. They would love to delete those messages, to play dumb. Oh, I didn't even know David. I never even spoke to David. Oh, there's nothing even in that Discord to connect me to it. Cap, we're going to get you. We're going to get you all, okay? People saying their kid, my kid is 16 and a half. I know how much of a literal child he is, despite him thinking he's not. Most of David's fans are pretty young and don't realize how much of an actual baby 13-year-old is. My kid needed to be tucked in and held my hand in public until he was 12 and a half, and David was in a relationship with her at that age. It's nuts, all right? Yeah, it's really sad. So there's 3 subreddits tracking this, all right? So we got the David2 subreddit. This is the subreddit that has now emerged, all right, as the second source of information, okay? People saying it's a different angle on the parking lot. Popular artist giving kids over $1,000. I'm going to have to, this is new, this is fresh, all right? I'm going to have to look into more of this later. But this is the main subreddit, okay, that is now active. Now the formerly active, now defunct subreddit, the original David subreddit, as far as I'm aware, there haven't been any posts in here, and ironically, this is the last post. I'm gonna touch on this post a little bit later, but as of 7 hours ago, nobody is posted. There are no mods. You have to request to post, and the cover-up is in full effect, but it's not working. And there's now a third subreddit, which is interesting. This is a third subreddit that's actually in honor of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. All right, this is a subreddit that's solely dedicated to her. All right, and basically, this is going to be a place where we're also going to follow along and find out what's going on with this whole case. And these guys are really just looking for justice for Celeste at this point, okay? They're basically just explaining the story. The sub is intended to gather updates and keep discussions accessible in case the main subreddit, David, becomes restricted. And to be honest, I think it is likely that that's going to happen. So people in the second David subreddit, they actually explained why this second subreddit exists just 3 hours ago. It says, to all the new users coming here from the main sub, please double check any information before posting. This sub was created quickly after people started getting banned in the original one, so it isn't heavily moderated. As a result, you may see a mix of facts, speculation, and baseless rumors here. Make sure you can tell the difference. Also, before posting, please check if the same information hasn't already been shared. Thanks. All right. People saying, bro... We're not here to provide facts or double checked. You just can't claim that what you're posting is the truth. Most are under 18, maybe under 16. People saying, what happened to the main sub? David left it, so it got locked. You can still comment on posts, but you can't make any new posts. It got nuked, all right? And essentially, they announced that David had left the original sub in this second subreddit. They got news just 5 hours ago. David has left his own sub. Just looked at the original David sub, and I noticed he left his own sub, so now there's no moderators there. What the hell? And people are saying he probably saw that post in r/music, which I showed you at the start of this video, and decided to remove himself from his own subreddit, and was probably also just finally advised to lock the subreddit and remove himself. All right? People saying, I mean, the fact that it happened after another sub posted about how he was the only moderator left is probably likely why, and probably not even directly linked to David, and if anything, he was probably told to remove himself or Reddit did it for him. People saying, I think someone requested to take over and Reddit makes the moderator reply, which he didn't, so he was removed. People saying, no, it was him. Replacing a mod actually directly replaces them, and it doesn't just leave the mod list empty. The sub is modless because David was actually using his account and decided to lock the sub and leave. I don't know, but it just looks sus on him that he's left. People saying it's fine. Even if he deletes the whole sub, it's recoverable, and I bet your ass the police are watching everything he does. Social media-wise. Also, it means that he can't moderate, delete any comments here, and he can't shut down this sub, so it was bound to happen. I'm actually surprised he didn't do it sooner. It certainly wasn't going his way. Maybe that's why he decided to fuck it off now. He may have been holding on to the hope that his fans would rally for him, security blanket type thing. Obviously, he's realized that's not the case at all, so what's the point for him? All right? People saying Reddit shut it down. 1, there were posts in other subs that talked about how he was the only mod left. 2, users deleted posts and comments. Turns out when there's no auto mod set, the active mod gets banned, and the other mod, in this case David, is inactive. Every post and comment that gets reported also gets auto deleted. Yes, in this case, it looks like David deleted the post. People are saying he couldn't stand the heat. All right, wait, what the hell? I can't find his Reddit account, or am I going crazy? All right, people are saying, no, I think he got banned. But anyway, everybody just made it very clear in the second David subreddit that you can't post in the main sub anymore. This was 6 hours ago. It says he must have got tired of all the evidence coming out. This is obstruction of evidence, I'm pretty sure. People are saying the Discord owner also posted CP on one of my posts, and I took a screenshot before Reddit removed it. I'm sending it to the LAPD. Okay, it's actually twisted. People saying he probably think he's so smart for doing it too, but he's not the brightest crayon in the box. Honestly, I would assume that his lawyers are strongly advising him to refrain from using social media. I can't lie. I don't know what type of lawyer would take his case, man, without blood money, but that is what it is, man. So this is in the Celeste subreddit. They're saying the same thing. Did David restrict the David community? It says you have to request a post now. Is he silencing us now? Am I the only one who saw this? People saying, I just checked, and yup, you now have to request a post. This guy is a cheeky MF. People saying, let me check. Holy shit, it is restricted now. What the F? I just noticed. I believe it's because he left and got removed as the last mod, so it's modless as of now, and it goes into auto lock. Okay, so people in David 2 were already complaining about their posts getting deleted, and basically pointing out that the cover-up wasn't allowed, and people are just deleting posts too. So look at this, right? They posted, they tried to post in David that mods are breaking the Reddit rules, namely the user failing for me, who was the original mod, as well as David, is scrubbing and deleting posts, including their own comments in this community, referencing that all mods, including them, are 18 plus, yet they own and mod the r/rate teenagers sub. This is in violation of Reddit's mod code of conduct, Rule 5, moderate with integrity. Examples of violating this rule include removing or approving content. Report mods for a Rule 5 violation via the form here. Okay, and this post was removed. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of David. So this post calling out the moderator for breaking the rules and essentially covering it up, and also seemingly acknowledging that there were underage people in the subreddit, that was removed. So someone trying to expose that has had that taken down. Okay, and that's a bad look. People saying it's so obvious that he's trying to save his own ass for being a creep who runs a subreddit dedicated to rape pictures of children. All right, it is creepy as hell. So the Celeste sub also noted that the main general chat in David's Discord had been deleted. So over on his Discord, it says Discord mods are trying to delete evidence. The general chat, which would have been the open chat where everybody could talk on the Discord, is now gone. So they're purging the Discord of chats basically what are these called? Is it called a chat? Is it called a room? I've forgotten what it's called. I might have to pull up Discord and remind myself what that's actually called. Oh, it's called a text channel, okay? So they've removed the general text channel where a lot of the conversation would have had, and people saying it's too late. What a clown. All right? I hope all of these nasty-ass men are held accountable. Saying Discord has an agreement to pull deleted logs for any police investigation. They ain't hiding nothing. They're just making themselves look more suspect. It doesn't matter because Discord backs everything up. Once investigators subpoena those logs, it's over with. People are saying it's already saved somewhere else. David's closest Discord general chat dump. It's been handed off to the LAPD and FBI. Put your depends on. Big shout out to these compassionate individuals using their geek skills for a common and greater good. So is this really the whole chat, the whole history? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be saving this. I'm definitely going to be saving this. People saying it won't help them at all. Discord saves backups very often, and they're always willing to cooperate with these things. They're saying, too effing late, clowns. They should have done that day one when they first mentioned the body being identified as a missing 14-year-old who would have turned 15. He knew it was Celeste. He had no problem screaming for people to delete the stream when she mentioned Epstein and Child SA, so I don't know why he would hesitate to get his general Discord chat gone, unless he felt like a C and himself... unless he felt like Celeste and himself didn't leave many digital tracks of their relationship, all right? You can't get rid of that digital footprint. And this is also logs of specific messages and images being deleted from the Discord. Deleting evidence of a crime is a felony, right? Ain't that really illegal? Tampering with evidence, right? Surely whoever's doing any of this should be arrested and get in legal trouble because they're actively trying to get rid of evidence right now. It's facts. Getting rid of messages, chats, and pictures. The whole situation is awful. All the people in this Discord are so evil. Now, I don't agree with this, but this is somebody trying to defend it. And everybody assuming they're doing this to cover things up, but they're probably well aware that the server's been backed up, and they're just deleting stuff because they no longer want to be associated with a child killer. I don't know, maybe I'm assuming the best in people. Well, it's too late. It's way too late for that, man. It's too late to distance yourself. It's too late to try and backtrack and do all of that stuff. It ain't gonna work, chumps. All right, it ain't gonna work. You've been associated with David. It's too gosh darn late. All right, and just for the record, okay, this little spot, I got a little zit right here. Okay, this isn't a tribute to David. All right, I'm not wearing a black spot star because that's what he's known to wear, the black one in the middle of his head. All right, this ain't no tribute. All right, I just got a big zit and I wanted to just cover it up. Okay, so shout out to the little star spot company that make those. But anyway. All right, people were saying the mods on his other main subreddit were predators too, and on his Discord, right? So here's the thing. People saying, oh, they want to distance themselves from this going on. Bro, it's too late. You're already associated with this, right? They're saying even the moderators of Preds talk in this sub while it's still alive. Posts being removed by moderators in David's sub. It's been confirmed. And people saying, yep, it's super gross over there and likely will get completely locked. All right. Oh, wow. It says, I posted a resource to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, an organization that helps children and teens in Celeste's position, and he removed that post too for being off topic, and now this guy is a PDF too. Apparently, they're deleting a post about the lyric, loving Celeste too soon, then being PDFs, and knowing about it a long time for how David really is. Okay, what song is that from? Oh, loving her way too soon. Okay, they misquoted the lyric. All right, so that is low-key misinformation. Okay, for context, here's the content they deleted. Super ick. Reddit's filters prevented me from making an actual post for this in the sub. Feel free to disseminate. Where is the post? David's subreddit warning. I don't know. But anyway, people were claiming that the mods were doing creepy stuff on other subreddits too. And now I don't want to get too close to this one because it's a hot tamale, okay? But there's this Rate Teenagers subreddit, which is very sketchy, all right? And people are saying, of course, the mods are PDFs and they're active in there too, all right? Saying that they've been active in there, and people saying the mods are breaking the rules. One of the other mods, that Failing For Me mod, owns and mods the Rate Teenagers sub. Very creepy indeed, all right? Very creepy indeed. People are posting how they got banned from the Reddit subreddit. You've been permanently banned from participating because your post violates the community rules. You can't post or comment, but you can still view and subscribe. People are truly being purged. So another thing people are finding interesting is they're saying David apparently changed the bio on his alt account from something to shush. So before David became David, he had other accounts, mostly focused around gaming. He had a few different names. FluQX, Chronic Ant, The Disowned, etc. Anyway, one of his alts account is called Ant LVL. 3 days ago, someone posted about this already, and how you can see how the account was linked to David. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. But then his bio was changed to back then his bio was I'm sorry. Now that's creepy. But if you check the account now, 3 days later, it was changed to shush. I can see why he would change the bio. That's crazy. So it used to say I'm sorry. He was saying this is his old Reddit account and Twitter accounts. These are just screenshots. Okay, so it's pointing out up there what his other accounts were. So FluX, that was apparently one of his accounts on David's birthday. People are wishing him a happy birthday on his birthday. Oh boy. All right. People saying, you got this, FluX. They're talking to him. So that's apparently one of his accounts. And it's an account on Reddit. Oh boy. All right. Posting a bunch of Fortnite stuff. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you can look there. I guess it used to say, I'm sorry. I don't know when that was put up. People saying, wait, who's this? Is this Ant? People are trying to work out who it is. Wait, what was the top of that one? Someone's posted it saying, I knew him in 2023. I knew what he was doing. Yeah, this is bizarre. And people are posting the Dexter meme. I'm onto you. Know what's going on. Man. Anyway. Who's saying, I went down a rabbit hole of David's past, mainly his gaming history. With this being said, I came across some evidence. With gaming being so prevalent in his life, I knew it would have some connection. David's first gamer tag was FaZe Trexper. Soon he changed it to TTV FluQX. Then eventually Chronic Ant. His main focus is going to FluQX moving forward. FluQX is David's old Twitter, which is suspended now. And he has other accounts associated with him. People saying, wait, this is creepy. His bio was, I'm sorry, in your screenshot. Then it must have changed it in the last few days because now it's shush. And shush is the tattoo that was found on his finger. And allegedly, Celeste has a matching tattoo. All right. Wow, never knew this. Yeah, he is a strange individual. Okay. So people are saying that this guy, Moji, who we discussed in a previous video, is one of the parent Discord managers. All right, they're saying the PDF's Discord owner, Moji, is DM requesting people. You should talk to the court, little buddy. They're saying, I have a screenshot of the comment Moji posted of CP before it got removed, by the way. I'm going to send it to the LAPD so they can investigate this guy. All right? Nah, because, like, this is why he murdered and groomed the girl. Now you understand. People are basically, that's satire. People are basically saying, like, this guy's going to have excuses. He's going to say, nah, he was trying to send me a screenshot. He was trying to explain to me why, nah. It's all good. Like this isn't as bad as it thinks. Ain't gonna work. Okay. They're saying he can go and talk to all those women he claimed was flooding his DMs instead, or he could talk to Carp. They've got a lot in common. All right. Trying to cover his ass with those messages, calling it dark humor. Even more disgusting. Dark humor isn't C to the pizzle. All right. It's a picture of David with the girl again. Oh my god. Oh my God, all right. We all know that sickos like him use humor or jokes as cover. The jokes are actually the truth in disguise. He has interviews that have plenty of self-admissions, like his lyrics are his life. By the way, in one of his interviews, he only had 3 like anyway, was deleted and scrubbed from the internet. I thought I saved it or screenshotted it, but I can't find it anywhere. It's gone. And the reason is because of the things that he said are circumstantial evidence, because the maths. Now, some people have noticed this guy Moji has been removing his own roles from Discord to try and distance himself from this situation. So this says Moji, David's server owner and manager on there, has removed a bunch of his roles. Is he hiding? As well as deleting 70 plus pictures that he sent. So this is his account today. You notice there's not that many roles there, right? And then this was his account just yesterday. He was the Moji, he was the founder, the owner, the manager, staff, Twitch manager. He was plugged in, he was managing, he was all over it. Now he's distancing himself. He's just Moji. He's just in there, man. He's just, well, I ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. I didn't post nothing crazy. People saying, yeah, this is sus as hell. Some people have said Moji is David, all right? And then this is once again that screenshot of a bunch of posts and comments that have been deleted. Now, check this out, okay? This is another post saying Mojo/Max is threatening me for showing the proof that he is a weirdo. Okay. So this is basically on a post that says that server and by no means knew who Celeste was, and especially not anything about her age. I have 0 contact with David as of the last 9 months. And I'm honestly glad I haven't. I don't really know what else to talk about in this sense, hence why I want to open up this post for you guys to personally ask me questions about it so I can clarify where I stand and what I know. People saying, brother, they have 0 reason to investigate me. I have absolutely nothing to do with this. This is a reply. You're wrong. You are going to get in trouble for the welfare of your little siblings. Who jokes about their 6- and 7-year-old siblings? Where does that even cross someone's mind? You are obviously one sick and messed up person who needs immense mental help and needs to be locked up in jail forever for making those kind of jokes. Those jokes are more like fantasies to you. All right? And he basically is... made a message request saying, don't ever talk about my siblings ever again. Shouldn't have talked about your siblings yourself to begin with, chum. All right. People saying, focus on Moji. He's more involved than people know. Let's get this twisted dude first. People saying, I just want to mention Moji created David's Discord server and Celeste was added to the server before David. All right. And this is just a classic Moji post that's going around saying women who let me kill them and chop them up. This you. All right. Not his Reddit user being stabbed. Bro, you and David's only personality trait is being a psycho. And they're saying that this pussy went private on Twitter. Okay, now Moji did make a long post defending himself and he even spoke on purging the Discord. That was the tail end of his little apology post that we saw in the last one. So let me just read this to you real quick, all right? It says, hey y'all, it's actually Moji here. I'll post more proof in the comments. I'm just here to give some clarity and answer any questions you might have had about the information I have on the situation. I know the last thing you want to hear from me the last thing you want is to hear from me as you guys jumped right on some, I'll admit, pretty dark jokes I made in David's Discord server. And most I made when I was underage, but I'm not here to defend that. That stuff was weird, and we can leave it at that. Please know that in no way do I support or feel okay about the recent actions of David. It's been the most effed up thing that I've ever seen, and it just keeps somehow getting worse and worse every day. He needs to be punished, and by no means are me nor anyone else in the Discord server trying to protect him. Maybe you're trying to protect yourselves. Things getting deleted looks a bit protective to me anyway. I wish I was cleared to delete the server right when I heard about the stuff that happens. Yeah, I bet you wish you were clear to delete the server right when it happened. I bet. But his team, label and such, personally told us to leave it as it is. And at this point, if I were to delete the server, you all would just say hiding evidence. So what about deleting posts and comments? What about that? About the situation at hand, all I did was make the server for an online friend that David was to me, and that's it. I've been the most inactive person in that server and by no means knew who Celeste was, and especially not anything about her age. I've had no contact with David in the last 9 months, and I'm glad I haven't. I don't know what else to talk about, hence why I want to open up this post for you guys to ask me questions so I can clarify. People saying ignoring the first and the second part of his yap, because the first is him trying to clear his name, even though he knows he was in the wrong. 2 months ago, he said he liked minors, so it wasn't just said when he was a kid. Number one, why would you delete the server and lock it down? There's tons of evidence in that server, and deleting it would make yourself look worse. I've already seen the screenshots of Moji deleting stuff he has said. Leave the server up until the investigation is closed. You can't mass delete evidence and think it's okay. And 2, you didn't just make a server, you ran the server and you claim to be inactive, but there's proof you were not inactive as you say. Even if you did not interact with Celeste, you know they were in a relationship. Yes, she can claim to be 18, 19, but clearly she looks her actual age, which is 11 to 13. Talk about your Twitter posts as well. Those were the weirdest things I've read besides your Discord convos. People are saying treat everything this guy says as a lie. The mods from that server are on here trying to save face, but it's not gonna work. They're going down with the ship whether they like it or not. People are saying, I think they've got Stockholm syndrome for this weirdo. They really think the world is like their Discord server, full of kids and illegal content, that people are as gullible and as fanned out as they are. They should have been downloading that stuff and forwarding it to the FBI, not posting it and commenting it here like they have fans waiting for them to speak. Yeah, this is pretty pathetic that this guy's posted it like he's got fans. Like, let me release my statement, bro. I don't give a fuck about who you are, bro. You're a waste man. Anyway, it's so pathetic how these mods are convincing everyone that they are so innocent when for the past year they've been harboring David's PDF relationship with a minor and talking about like it's so normalized. They're all coming out of the woodwork now so that their master has been caught and acting like David is the only bad guy in this story when they're all just as effed up and lack any sort of moral compass. All I've seen from this Moji guy is him victimizing himself in any way he can. He's an effing loser, and I hope they look into him too, because his comments are seriously disgusting. Now, the very last post in the David subreddit before it got locked up. We got locked up. It doesn't matter. It's too late. It's way too late. You're getting locked up. He's getting locked up. All right. This is the last post in the David subreddit before it was all over. Okay. And the sub's been growing pretty intensely. I didn't see it having this many members a few days ago. But anyway, it says, why hasn't he been arrested? This is the last post on David's subreddit ever. Poetic justice, man. Why hasn't he been arrested? Technically, he's only considered a person of interest at this point in time, which is obviously angering considering that the body was found in a car that was registered in his name. However, according to the law, being a person of interest has no legal meaning and doesn't grant law enforcement the authority to make an immediate arrest. Nevertheless, all of him and his team's choices are going to be viewed with critical observation and examination, including his team trying to wipe his digital footprint. Thankfully, there's tons of people saving screenshots, text messages, video recordings, and comments. Also, since David was one of the last people spotted with Celeste prior to her death, all of the focus is obviously going to be placed on him. This case is obviously extremely tragic, but be patient. The truth is going to come to light. People saying, FYI, the sub has been locked. Most people are moving to number 2. All right, saying, come and join the other subs. Didn't David make this subreddit request to post? Yeah, it looks like it. People saying because they're watching, waiting, and observing every move that he and his cohorts are making online and in person. Speaking from experience, it's amazing how much more evidence can be obtained once the suspects know they're in the hot seat. Guilty people act guilty and make guilty moves. It's just a matter of time. People saying keep in mind they need to present everything to a grand jury for a case like this. It's a murder case, all right? People saying there's legal reasons why he's not been arrested yet. You can easily find those reasons online. I know we all want to see justice served, but there's a process to things like this that must be followed to ensure there's nothing that can be used to cause this case ending up being dismissed. True, especially on high-profile cases like this one, but it also goes to show the power of being famous, rich, and having access to top lawyers, because I can guarantee if this was happening to any of us, we would already be in jail. They'd be leaving us in a cold interrogation room for 10 hours straight with no food to get a confession at all costs. They wouldn't be that worried about building a perfect case and finding the evidence. Maybe they'll bring in a delicious bologna sandwich to try and get somebody to talk, because we know how well that works. Guys, OP, is it true that David is the only moderator on this sub? I wanted to make a post about something and now you have to send a request to be accepted. Pretty certain it wasn't like that yesterday. It was all good just a day ago. All right. It's because the feds are coming. They have a big, beautiful case to showcase how great the American government is at saving children. First, the Hoover Street underage indictment, and now David. This is not a conspiracy against homie. He just got caught at the right time. They're gathering all the evidence they can and allowing little bro, the low-level cops, to have fun until they come home. He trafficked this girl, used social media and community devices. Bribery sounds like a RICO case. I'm from the future. Watch this get deleted by accident. All right. It is crazy. Okay, it is crazy. Food for thought about what he is or isn't doing with accounts in the sub himself. Itself. The police took his devices last week. Anytime you see him online or doing something, it's likely because law enforcement is actively in the account. Years ago, I went through this whole thing involving stalking and getting death threats, and multiple agencies had access to my accounts during that time, the investigation. I'm sure that they've been going through every communication he ever had on here because he was a mod. There's a lot of info with the sub going rapid fire now. It could be a reason to shut posting down during the investigation. Now, that is one of the best theories I've heard. I could see the police wanting to say, okay, let's simmer down. It's too much information to get through. Let's lock up the post. Let's lock up the original subreddit because we already got thousands of gigabytes to get through. I don't know. The one thing I do know is that this cover-up is not going to do anything. Okay, you guys are all cooked. All of you, you're all cooked. All right. There's definitely going to be some accomplices in this by the looks of things. And deleting messages on Discord don't do nothing. All right, don't do nothing. Feds are going to be able to get all of that. Okay, people are still trying to wait and find out whether or not, the murder actually happened in Los Angeles, whether it might have happened in Houston or somewhere in between. We saw that very creepy video of him kind of waving at this motel and freaking tow truck drives by in the video. It's actually bizarre. So I think that, honestly, I think we're going to see David get arrested this week if he doesn't do something to make that not possible, if you know what I'm saying, or if he doesn't try and flee. I don't think fleeing's an option because they've probably got him under 24-hour surveillance. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to see David arrested this week, to be completely honest. That's just my prediction. Some people are saying the police maybe were working over the weekend to try and get all of this information together. But I honestly, based on everything that I've seen, I don't think it's going to be, I don't think we're going to see this guy free for too long. So I'll keep you guys updated. I've got about 3 or 4 more videos that I want to make on this topic because there's a bunch of other information unrelated to the subreddit and the cover-up that is looking a bit crazy. So I'll be back with some more updates. Appreciate everybody tapping in with the updates before, and shout out to the intelligence community, everybody on Reddit and Discord, and, you know, not the weirdos, but everybody that's actually trying to get to the bottom of this, everybody that's trying to actually preserve some of this important information for the case. I think that it is very noble and important what people are doing, and we're going to see everything that works out as far as the arrest when it hopefully does happen, if we see that soon. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for tapping in, and I'm out of here.